Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back, and it's 2017, and we have a brand new video, of course. And we have 5 rumors to talk about already at the start of 2017. It's crazy, right? The rumors just keep on coming for the Nintendo Switch. They're never going to stop, probably. Even after the system is released, I wouldn't doubt it. So, here we go. So, first of all, we have a NeoGAF member. His name is Stealth. And he has gotten information right in the past. People have known him as a quote-unquote insider. Not as outspoken as others like Laura K. Adele or Emily Rogers, but he has gotten things right in the past. He says that the Nintendo Switch will have region-free carts, which means basically that the Switch will be region-free. So whatever game you buy from whatever country you purchase it from should be playable on the Nintendo Switch. So in my opinion, this is huge news if this becomes true. One of the biggest complaints for the Wii U and past systems was that you could not play games imported without actually owning the other system from that country. So being able to play region-free, region-unlocked, whatever you want to call it, games on the Nintendo Switch would be an outstanding prospect. Anybody who wants to enjoy a game maybe early, it comes out in Japan, maybe they understand Japanese, and they want to play it in the United States before it's released here, they can go ahead and do that because the system would accept those carts. Maybe it would accept games downloaded as well from the eShop. That remains to be seen. Stealth also went on to say in the second rumor that Pokemon Stars will not be shown at the upcoming January 12th event by Nintendo, but possibly later on in the year in 2017 it will have its own Nintendo Direct just for that game since it's a huge release. So those are the rumors from Stealth. And next we have Obi-Wan Plays. He brought out in his video the 4th day of Switchmas. He says that, of course, the Switch will have voice chat. Now this isn't really surprising if it comes true, but there was some question on how it would work because the Switch doesn't have a microphone input in there. So he brings out basically the Switch would have Bluetooth microphone support, and when the Switch was undocked you could take it and plug in a microphone into the headphone jack of the Switch to enable voice chat in that way. So nothing really hugely surprising about voice chat being on the Switch, but it is some additional information, but it is a rumor, of course, for now. And like we're saying, guys, everything is a rumor until Nintendo confirms themselves, right? Next up we have Laura K. Adele. She's at it again. She said that Mother 3 will be released on the Nintendo Switch Virtual Console in Q2 2017. And not much more was said about it other than that. This does piggyback Emily Rogers because she did say Mother 3 was going to be released on the Virtual Console. She didn't say Switch necessarily at first. I think before she did expect it to be released on the Wii U Virtual Console. Now Laura K. Adele is coming in and saying that it's going to be released on the Switch Virtual Console. So obviously the Wii U has been killed prematurely. Probably it was meant for the Wii U at first, but if this rumor does become true, it would be coming out on the Switch Virtual Console in the future. So we have that to look forward to if that becomes true. Then we have the next big rumor from both Emily Rogers and Laura K. Adele. It was talked about like a month ago that Zelda Breath of the Wild could miss the launch of the Nintendo Switch, and Emily Rogers said it could even go past summertime of 2017 before it's released on the Switch. Now today, both Emily Rogers and Laura K. Adele have said that Zelda Breath of the Wild will in fact release in March as a launch game on the Nintendo Switch. So of course this is a rumor that we all hope is going to come true. I don't think anyone is going to want this game to be delayed any further. Granted, we need to wait for Nintendo to confirm release date, and their website still says 2017 as a release date for Zelda Breath of the Wild. It doesn't say March, doesn't say spring, doesn't say winter, just says 2017. So my advice is to keep expectations in check. Wait for Nintendo to actually announce the release date for this game, guys, before going crazy and saying it's confirmed. Especially on certain things, Emily Rogers and Laura K. Adele have been correct on the Switch in the past. They haven't always been correct, though, but they have been correct on the Switch in the past. So while we do hope this is correct, let's definitely wait for Nintendo to confirm it before going crazy jumping up and down, right? And next, there was a developer who went on the Beyond 3D forums over the weekend, and the discussion was based on the leaked specs from Eurogamer and if the Nintendo Switch was in fact based on a Tegra X1 Maxwell architecture. And using that as a base, the discussion was talking about the stock Tegra X1 processor. So as we've discussed before, the Nintendo Switch will have a custom-made NVIDIA Tegra chip, basically, and it hasn't been confirmed by Nintendo or NVIDIA exactly which chip it's using, but it will be custom. Eurogamer says it's based on the Tegra X1 Maxwell, but a customized variant of that. So performance, definitely for the Switch, in my opinion, would be better than what he's making out here in the discussion. And who is he? Well, his name is Sebastian Altonen. He is a former senior rendering lead at Ubisoft. Now he is the co-founder of independent game studio called The Second Order. So he is a developer, and these are his thoughts on if the Switch was targeting a stock Tegra X1 processor. How would it do in terms of getting ports from the other systems? So I'm going to read a little bit about what he said. It's kind of technical, so I'll leave the link in the description so you guys can read it for yourself. I'll leave some words out to make it as simple as possible, but basically what he said was around 50% of modern game engine frame time goes to running compute shaders, like lighting, post-processing, anti-aliasing, reflections, etc. Maxwell's tiled rasterizer has zero impact on compute shaders. 25.6 gigabytes per second is pretty low, as everyone knows that 68 gigabytes of Xbox One isn't that great either, and the ESRAM is needed to reach good performance. But I'm talking about downporting current gen games to the Switch. And then he says, Switch certainly fares well against last gen consoles, and Maxwell's tiled rasterizer would certainly help older pixel plus vertex shader based renderers. Too bad last gen consoles already got their last big AAA releases years ago. Easy ports between Xbox 360 and Switch are not available anymore. And lastly, he says Xbox One is significantly faster hardware. Straightforward code port is not possible. Content also needs to be simplified. End of quote. So again, he's talking about the Tegra X1 chip in comparison. He's not necessarily talking about the Switch per se, only if the Switch is based on the Maxwell architecture and it's a Tegra X1, because the Tegra X1 has that 25.6 gigabytes per second in memory bandwidth, and that is a great deal slower than the Xbox One. Not to mention the other things he says as well. So he said that straightforward code porting is not possible in comparing it in those terms. Again, this is just speculation on this developer's point of view, and we don't know the custom features of the Switch. We do know it is customized though, and it has been reported by developers and others that it can run current generation engines like Unreal Engine 4 and the newer APIs pretty well. So as far as straightforward porting from the other systems, definitely modifications would probably have to be made. I'm not in disagreement with that. But until we see exactly what these customizations are from the Switch, we can't say 100% that straightforward ports aren't possible. Basically, we have to know more and see more of the system before making that judgment. But I'm not going to argue against the developer, obviously. He knows what he's talking about. So keep your expectations in check in regards to the Switch. And again, keep in mind that he's only talking about the Tegra X1 stock chip. So we shall see more. But this could give us a little bit of an idea that games would have to be modified somewhat on the Switch. We don't know for sure yet how much so. That's what we're waiting to see in January 12th. And speaking of January 2017, it is the 12-year anniversary of Resident Evil 4 being released for the Nintendo GameCube back in January of 2005. So, as you've been watching in this video, we've been having gameplay of that game played in the background. So, I'll leave it playing for you at the end of the video. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please hit that like button, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you very soon in the next video. Take care.
¡Mátalo!